Ready to go. Only a few minutes late. Let's do this.
We are live. Hey.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome to our channel. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. We're going to pop up the chat and see where we didn't even have a chance yet to read some of the comments. So this is going to be a fun time with Growing Up Without Borders. If you're brand new and you've never heard of us before or never seen our channel, we're a family of 5. Angelique's on her way. Tyler's over there. And so our 3 girls, Julia, Chloe, and Angelique, who you'll see in a second. I'm Chantal. And we're here in New Zealand right now. We've been in New Zealand since March 2020, pre-pandemic. And we make travel videos online for you guys to enjoy. So we've been to many, many countries. The girls have traveled around to now, how many countries?
I've been to 99 countries.
98. And this is country 100 for me. So it's a big accomplishment, if you will, because we're on a mission to travel to every country in the world, which is a little bit tricky, but that's our goal. And we kind of got stuck here in New Zealand because of the pandemic. Happily stuck. We don't want to leave because, well, it's still a little bit crazy out there in certain places. So we thought it'd be fun to share with you guys the pros and the cons live with a live Q&A, so that those of you who are New Zealanders watching, you can also comment back to the people asking questions, and those who are maybe thinking or considering of moving here or just curious about it can ask questions. So by all means, we're not experts. You know, we've only been here a short time, but because we've experienced so many different countries and cultures and places and stuff, we thought we would give our perspective on the fact of it all. So
we're getting lots of people saying, so the first thing, Donovan Johnson said, I didn't know everything in New Zealand was different from everything in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, when you grow up, okay, Donovan, I know you're young just by the comments you've left and then your profile and all that. So, when you grow up in the United States, I know, well, our girls went to school in Florida, right? And they didn't do many years in school, but a lot of the things that are taught and a lot of the things that you get to know are just kind of like within your circle, meaning like the United States and not far outside of the United States. Unless you've traveled or seen the world, it's not like you get exposed to different cultures and things and stuff like that. So I'm generalizing too. I know when I talk about the US, I do generalize, and I know I shouldn't, but I do. So yeah, it is quite different. And the whole big, huge world out there is much different. The way things are done, the way things are taught in schools, the way the houses are built, like all the things are different. So it is quite uniquely different. Absolutely. All right, so let's say good morning. Someone's saying good morning, crew.
Hi.
Hello. So cool to have you guys all joining in so fast. Come on, Angelique. Yes, come with your hat. You look cute. Everyone say morning, Angelique. Here we go.
Yeah, so from Wellington.
Oh, Vanuatu.
Derbyshire, Pahia,
cool.
Madison.
Pahia, that is so nice. We love Pahia area too. Hello, Madison, Alabama.
It looks like Picton. Our thumbnail was from Picton.
Our photo was from Picton. We were in Picton just the other day. It was so beautiful. It's one of my favorite places here in New Zealand.
If they miss their friends from Canada.
Oh, okay. Here comes some questions.
Well,
girls.
Okay, so we do have friends in Canada, but we have more so family there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. That could be, okay, so I'm going to try and theme this live, although you can ask us any questions you want. So when you're considering being this far away in New Zealand, we were talking about like pros and cons. And what were you saying this morning, Chloe, about like time zones and stuff?
Well, the problem with being so far away is that it's not like you can take a couple-hour flight to get to, let's say, Europe or Canada or anywhere like that, right? So you're so far away from the world.
She's going ding, ding, ding right beside the mic. Boom, boom.
As well with just time zone difference with different time zones. It's hard sometimes to call people and it's maybe 8 o'clock at night here, but then 6 in the morning over there or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, so that could be considered a bit of a con when you're trying to communicate with your friends or you're trying to work. Like if you're considering coming to this side of the world and you're working in the Americas or even Europe, it's kind of tricky timing-wise to be available.
How's the cake? Sweet. American-like. Lots of. That's all I can
We
say
didn't
about
eat it all. We gave it to
Oh.
We
so
had to give
many
it
people.
to so many people. We
was
were just
so-
like, want some cake?
And it's like you could only eat a sliver of that cake. It was so sweet. It was fun to make, though. Funny. Hi, that sounds like a Kiwi, right? Is it? Chris, are you from New Zealand? Is that, or maybe UK? I don't know. Anyway, maybe you're from anywhere. Just checking to see here what's going on in New Zealand. Well, here's an update in case you haven't seen the news. Auckland is still in lockdown. So Auckland and another little part, I think Thames is as well. But the rest of New Zealand, we are on what's called a level 2.
But-
Huh?
2.5.
2.5.
Technically like a 2.5 because you still have to wear face masks everywhere you go.
It's not really lockdown. You can do everything. You can go to all the stores. You can do everything. They're just
All the
requiring.
attractions.
Yeah, everything's open. They're just putting limits on the amount of people indoors and masks. So no big deal. Something we have only started to experience. So we're getting a taste of what the rest of the world has been going through for the last 18 months, right? Question for all 3 girls. When you're older and done with school, do you plan to keep traveling or settle down somewhere? And if so, where? This is Chris asking this question. That's a big one.
Do you want to answer first, Angelique?
What's your life going to look like once you're done all your schools and stuff?
I'll probably go to design school, and then after that I'll probably own several homes to hop around, like to do like fashion shows and stuff like that.
Speak louder. They can't hear you.
Chloe?
So she's going to travel around? That's what you're saying? She's going to, which countries? She just said she's going to own several homes. Ooh, this sounds really good. I'm liking it.
Like,
Where is it going to be?
like Milan, maybe in Switzerland, in New York.
Milan and Switzerland, those are so close, though.
She's picking all the expensive places. Milan, well, I don't know, Milan's okay, but Switzerland, New York, woo, okay. Because she's got to travel, she's going to have a fashion design company. This is what she's thinking. So she's thinking all the hubs that are fashion related, you know, get to all the fashion shows and everything. She's going to change the world of fashion. Because let me tell you, when she watches those fashion things, she's like, why are they wearing this? I'm going to go in there and change the way they look. She's going to make a difference in the fashion industry. Boom. There you go.
Chloe?
Chloe, what about you?
This has been like a thing that I'm still kind of thinking about. I know I'm 13. I should probably already kind of know what I would like to do, but I'm still kind of like on that way of deciding what I want to do when I'm older.
But, are you going to keep traveling? Let's say you're done, like,
Oh, okay.
outside of what you're going to do. Are you going to keep traveling, or are you just going to stay in one house for the rest of your life and just kind of stay in your little community and go get your little French baguette maybe and hop on a bike and, you know?
I'll probably stay put, like, because I'm a kind of person that likes to stay in one spot for longer, but I will travel. It's not like I'll just stay there.
I thought
will
you're
probably
not
move
going to
around.
stay with us forever?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
I'm not going to live in your house forever.
Oh. Okay.
So for me, very quickly, I always wanted to be like a tour guide so that way I can continue traveling. But then I decided, well, why not just have hotels? And then, so that's why I can always move around. But I do want to have a house, a big, nice home in the community. And I always wanted maybe to live in the Netherlands, New Zealand.
And she wants a blue Jeep.
Or maybe, like, Scotland's really nice too. I know it's cold, but I mean, if you're there, depending on when.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. This is
I
all
like
new.
those, like, Scotland, Ireland, Netherlands, New
Oh.
Zealand.
And they're all, like, okay, except for the Netherlands. They're
I'm
all
definitely
English
gonna-
speaking. This is
yeah.
interesting. But the Netherlands, like, everyone speaks English. Like, they
Exactly.
learn English in
It's so
school at
easy, yeah.
such a young age that you can get by on English. I think, you know, after traveling so much and being in countries where we don't speak the language and you have to get by, it is nice to be able to just speak English. This is one of the big, huge pros if you're considering moving to New Zealand. Well, if you're coming from an English-speaking country, it just makes the ease of doing everything so much easier versus, you know, being
Yeah.
in a Spanish-speaking or maybe an Arabic country or, you know, where everything might be a little bit trickier to do.
I would live in Spain as well, probably, depending, like, certain countries.
Hello from Dubai. Hey, Calvin, nice to see you there.
Morena, hey.
Miguel says, hi, Chloe. Hola. Morena, guys. Morena. We're still working on our pronunciation
If
of
someone, like,
words. Greetings from Harriet and Jim. Oh, Virginia, Richmond.
Why do New
Wow.
Zealanders go barefoot in stores? Maybe because they love their nature? No, I don't know.
Why do New Zealanders go barefoot in stores? Okay, whoever's watching here and you're from New Zealand, can you answer that? Because we don't know either. I don't know why people like to walk around barefoot. Most people, if they're like in Florida, everyone wears flip-flops around, and that's kind of more casual. The only other place we've seen like barefoot is in the Maldives, where you're at a resort, you take off your shoes and you don't wear your shoes the rest of the time.
Jeffreys Bay in South Africa as well.
Oh yeah, sorry. And Australia too, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
But it's been it felt like more like surfy towns or stuff like that. But yeah, the first time we saw that was people walking in a shopping mall with barefoot feet, like in South Africa. And we were like, whoa, that's so crazy. I don't know. Why? But they like going barefoot, which, why not? It's kind of nice. What's your name? Ooh.
Julia.
Oh, you're brand new. Welcome to our channel. I'm Chantal. I'm their mom.
Chloe.
In case you
Angelique.
didn't know.
Someone wrote, did y'all visit China yet?
Ooh.
We have.
We went to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Well, we want to go. I would probably go back to like.
No,
visit
yeah, we're
them.
definitely going to go to
We haven't
China.
Yeah, because when you go to Hong Kong, it doesn't really feel like the real authentic China. You could say, yeah, but
And then someone said,
not the real authentic experience of, the Great Wall of China. And then
Yeah,
when we
that's-
like to go to a country, one sec, is we really like to feel the culture and the way that people live and stuff like that. So, yeah,
we're definitely going.
we're going to go back.
Someone
Howdy
said,
from Texas.
do the girls feel safe in New Zealand?
Absolutely. Like, I go to senior nights and we stay out till like midnight, and it's completely safe
New
here.
Zealand is, well, I don't know the rankings, but I would rank it one of the tops for safety. It is so safe here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find trouble anywhere you go, right? But
True.
it's small town thinking. People look out for each other. It's just really, really safe. Yeah. That is a huge pro to living in New Zealand. And everyone, the community of people here, you don't have the same community effect as you do in Europe. If you're coming from Europe, in Europe, you have, it's saying that there's not enough streaming and that we're glitchy. Are we glitchy, guys?
Look at the video. Just look at the phone. We look glitchy.
I apologize. Why don't we turn that one off where you need to
I
see?
think it's on data. It's on data.
Yeah, just leave it on data because it's plugged into this one. Apologize for glitchiness. Okay, but if you are coming from the Europe side, we must look so funny. You get a sense of real tiny communities because when you're in Europe, you have your little cheese store, your bakery, or it's very community oriented, and
Kind of
people
like
go
Belle.
to the cafes.
Bonjour.
Yeah, like Belle.
There
like
goes the
Beauty and
baker
Belle.
with his tray, like always. The same old bread.
Na, 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 na. Okay. And so you just don't have that here. Here it feels more like the Americas where you drive everywhere. So you drive to a grocery store, you park. Not so many big box stores yet like they do. But yeah, so that's a little bit different there. The girls look very tired. Oh man, we go.
Someone said, can we just grow up barefoot? We just grow up barefoot.
Yeah, they go to school. Like my friend, she's from New Zealand. She remembers going to school as a child. That's how she went. They just went barefoot all the
They
time.
probably, since they were a baby, run around barefoot.
Someone said we look tired. Well, let me tell you about our weekend. So we went all weekend, and we had such a cool time.
That wasn't this weekend.
No, we went to that was last weekend. But then since we were here, we did a whole boat tour all around the Marlborough Sounds.
true.
And okay, wait, I got to say something that's really cool. So if you're coming to New Zealand, you gotta like water because this country, if you didn't know, New Zealand is formed of islands. Okay, I'm talking to those who maybe don't know where New Zealand is on the map because oftentimes, and I'm not joking about this, but oftentimes when we talk with people back home, they're like, "Oh yeah, Australia," and I'm like, "Well, it's past Australia. It's like further," but they think it's kind of one and the same, or they think it's like part of. And I know that's not everybody, but I've had people say that. So just for those people who want to know a little bit more, New Zealand is past Australia. As a matter of fact, it's a 3-hour flight between Australia and New
there's a
Zealand.
time zone difference.
Yeah,
So
that's how far it is. Okay, and then there's islands. So you got the North Island, the South Island, and Stewart Island. And Stewart Island's a tiny little island, so most people think of it as 2 major islands. And where am I going with this? Everything's surrounded by water because your island's so on each proximity. And what we did this weekend is we did a mail run. So the way they deliver the mail and the way they deliver sometimes items is by boat because in the Sounds, this is called we were in the Marlborough Sounds. Marlborough is the province where we are. So they have provinces, not states. And then it goes like kind of like fingers, and it's all around like the water, right? So you've got the ocean everywhere around you. And so they have to deliver the mail by boat. And some of these people that are living in these homes, they don't see anybody for maybe the whole week until that mailman comes with the boat. And that's their one encounter that they have. It's just amazing. What did we learn about the landmass of that whole area? The whole waterfront.
Doesn't it cover like 1/5 of all of New Zealand's water, the Marlborough Sounds?
Yeah. Can you imagine? That's how big the Marlborough Sounds are. So if you're from New Zealand, you've never been on this boat tour, it was amazing. We went with beachcombers, and they literally did the whole run, and it was so cool. It was a really cool experience. And then we saw something sad, and it was like where the whale station was, where they would like get all the whale oil and stuff, and it was the last running one here in New Zealand. I think it closed in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it was really cool.
Should we go faster?
Sorry.
Okay. Are you educating your girls on what do they want to go to university? How does that work? Yes, we're homeschooled. We started a new thing called CGA, Crimson Global Academy. It's like an online high school, which is amazing.
So technically they're half homeschooled, half doing a real school. But it's not a school that they attend in person.
It's Zoom online. We have teachers, homework, all that.
They're loaded. Angelique, tell us about your homework. Tell us.
Angelique,
Don't point your finger.
Angelique, she's like, no, don't talk. She gets a lot of homework in her opinion. So pages and pages and pages. So,
I don't.
So
I don't either.
Do you guys want to go to university? I would love to go to hotel management school. Anything?
Design school.
Design school. So technically, it wouldn't be necessarily university. Julia's program is is it a 2 or 3 year here?
21 months.
So it'd be more of a 2-year program. So they do, well, you do stage.
It's
so you go and
almost
work.
2, yeah.
So they work
I'm only
for
13,
a
I've
few
got lots of
months, then they go to school for a few months. So
Yeah.
Can't decide if I
Now
want
you've
to
been living in New Zealand for a while. What do you prefer, meat pies or sweet pies? Ooh.
whoa. Okay, in New
that's
Zealand, this is a
hard.
pro. You can go to any, what they call a dairy. It's a convenience store is called a dairy. And it's like your little Max Milk or 7-Eleven, right? They don't have 7-Elevens here. Holy, I just realized that.
Well, that's more so American, no?
Oh no, all over Asia. Central America.
Cambodia, Thailand.
Anyway.
Yeah.
7-Eleven's everywhere, but it's not here. Okay, so you go to your little things and they have these meat pies and they're so good. So I would have to say meat pie
Julie?
over savory, like sweet savory.
Pie.
Julia?
That's too hard because I love apple pie.
Ooh.
I would have to go with...
But we don't really-
It's in New Zealand. If you
Okay, veggie pies.
Vegetarian meat pies.
Okay, guys.
That doesn't make
Does
sense.
this mean like every kind of pie? Like an apple pie? Would that count? Because if it's that, then I'd say sweet. But if it's not that, then I'd say savory.
We got a special delivery.
Yeah, it just arrived. Bring it
Brian's... Okay, wait. Oh, here comes Ziggy and the cat. Ziggy likes to hide in cats, and he sleeps in these bags. What did I just say?
You said
What am I
likes hiding cats.
Ziggy the cat's hiding in the bag. You might be able to hear him purr. Little Ziggy woke up this morning and climbed on me, and it was 5 a.m, and he was like walking all over me, and then he just sat in between us and just fell asleep again, and I was just like, that's so cute, but you woke me up. So it wasn't that cute after all. It's not our cat, by the way. This is our neighbor's cat.
Yes.
Our neighbor Esther, who is Chloe's age. But this cat really loves being in our house. So we just kind of adopted it. We don't feed it, but Tyler gives him treats. And I keep telling him not to because the more you give him treats, the more likely he's going to want to stay even longer. So now he's getting playful. If you go like this.
He sits in this bag and then he backs
Oh,
up
careful,
and then he
he's going to
falls
fall
off.
off. Okay, anyway. Brian was asking, what's the total days on the lockdown? Because we ran a contest. I don't know if you remember, for those of you who've been following us for a while, we ran a contest that whoever guesses the amount of days for the lockdown is going to win some chocolate. So technically Auckland is still in full on like level 3, and I consider out of lockdown when you're at level 2 because things are normal. Like level 3, the only thing they have access to is like KFC and McDonald's drive-through, but everything else is locked down, fully locked. So they've been going on how many weeks, you guys? If you're from New Zealand, please answer. Has it been
like
7 weeks now? Full lockdown. They can't go anywhere. It must be not very good. So no one guessed it would be this long. I'm going to go through the comments and see, but most people were guessing like 4 or 5 weeks. Some people did guess 2 months, I think.
Parts of Scotland are warmer. See the Find Horn Foundation. Oh.
Someone said, what's your favorite kind of fruit in New Zealand that you don't get in Canada?
Okay, let's talk about the food here. And that could be...
Fruits.
No, I know, fruits, but I'm going to tie in food because this could be a pro or a con. When you're in other countries, like for example, if Donovan's still watching, he's from Texas. And in Texas, you have something called Central Market. If you go into this store called Central Market in the U.S., you have, holy cow. Yeah, how do you explain it? When you walk in, it's like going to IKEA, but it's a grocery store because the way they formatted this grocery store, it's not like it's easy to like go boom, 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 get your things. It's like a whole experience.
It's a maze. You gotta go this way and this way. You gotta follow the track, and then they have every single type of thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah, and like if you walk in,
type of apple, every single type of pepper.
Like there's like a whole row, like a whole massive Countdown or whatever store you're going to, like a Pack and Save, a whole row of just apples, and it's every single flavor of kind of apple
and
all
then
around the world.
You go to the cheese section. Every type of cheese.
Every European
and you can try them.
I remember,
you can taste it.
It's
so good.
When I was there, I was like, this is why they don't travel, because if they got this, they can try everything here.
That's what her comment was. As soon as she walked in, she goes, this is why the Americans don't need to leave their country. They have every option. And my thought was like, it's like the land of milk and honey. They've got like so much abundance of everything. It was unbelievable. Mind you, the pricing was very expensive in that grocery store. So it's something, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's for everyone. And the U.S. is very much so more so divided between those who have and those who have not. There's not as much of a middle class society like we have in Canada or like there is in New Zealand or maybe Europe. Over there, there's a big discrepancy. So somebody who goes to one of these stores would have to be more well-to-do to be able to afford their groceries. But they had a whole chocolate making section and a cafe. Their coffee beans were like rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of coffee beans. Like it was,
and they had like Rio cheese from Switzerland. Like
it was amazing. Anyway,
you can tell we loved it.
So the food here.
We've got so many comments.
Okay. I'm going to move forward. I just want to say the it could be a pro and it could be a con. When you're here in New Zealand, you don't have access to all the foods all year round because it's seasonal and because maybe it's an island. So if you're in Europe, you'll have access to pretty much everything. You can get peppers all year round. Here, the peppers, I'm talking about capricums for those from New Zealand, they go up and down in price. And like a cucumber can go huge difference in price. So you tend to eat more in season, which could be a good thing too.
So kiwi fruit that we love though is, I would say, golden kiwi fruit and fijoas.
Fijoas are really yummy.
They're good.
I tried a Fijoa fizzy drink with a meat pie the day before yesterday, and it was so yummy.
How many countries do you have left to visit?
97. 97. Like, we've got a whole plan that's right there on the wall, and we're starting to like reach out to different places because, well, we may have to leave real soon.
Okay. Hanging out, so 95 left. What's your favorite place in New Zealand? Ready? Go, Angelique.
What?
Favorite place in New Zealand what's your favorite place? So if you're coming to move to New Zealand, back to the pros and cons of living here, if you're moving here, where would you move to? If you didn't have to work in a city center, because chances are if you're coming here for work, it might be where your work is.
I don't know.
You don't know? Where would you live?
Where would you live if you had to live in a place? It'd probably be Wellington.
Wellington? You'd live in Wellington?
Wellington is nice. Blenheim is nice.
I love when you see like beaches and water, and I love Whangarei Heads, and I love Picton because it's luscious green and you get mountains, and it's just so beautiful.
I would probably have to live on the South Island, somewhere on the South Island.
South Island?
Because, I mean, the North...
I like
it's
both.
safer down here, if you will, because there's volcanoes up there. And I don't like living beside
I love Rotorua
volcano.
too because it feels like home. We know a lot of people there, and we were always crisscrossing. And when you're in Rotorua area, you've got all the lakes, and you could be at the ocean in an hour. You can go surfing in an hour.
I probably live somewhere like down in like
Hamilton is really nice as well. Okay.
As you can see, we like a lot of areas of New Zealand. So when you live here, just start moving around. I don't know.
Kiwis go barefoot because of the large beach culture and because they can't be bothered putting on shoes. And we like to feel the earth beneath our feet. Yes.
Oh, that's a really good answer. And you know what? I bet you a lot of cultures would love to do that if they could.
During
a lot of
the
places
summer
it's
of
illegal.
love in the 60s, we were all barefoot.
It was the summer.
We watched a movie and it was set in it was the end of 1959, 1960s
In Sydney.
in Australia, Sydney. It was really cool because it showed the dynamics between Australians and Europeans.
Yeah, that was a cool movie actually. Very.
It's called
nice.
27 Dresses.
No, it's
No,
called
Ladies in
Ladies in Black.
Ladies in Black. Check it out. It was a good
Yeah, the other one
movie.
was
It's a really good one.
Cost of living.
Sharing a continent with the French. That's awkward.
What?
Oh, I wanted to say something to Denisis. I hope I'm saying your Denisis. I hope I'm saying your name right. I was thinking of, like, the other day on my video from yesterday, I said the bathrooms, and I was thinking about it, and I think in Canada we say that more so because in the U.S. the cat's gonna fall down. In the U.S. everyone says the restrooms, so they don't call it bathrooms. But I feel like I grew up saying the bathrooms, and I can't figure out if it's because I grew up with like a French Canadian mom, or if that's just what Canadians say. So if you're watching from the U.S. or from Canada, let us know. What do you say? What do you call the toilets in France?
We call them a lot of different things.
I know, but
In French, you could say les salles de
Say
bain.
toilets,
Or you could
Or
restrooms,
the
bathrooms,
Yeah.
feces.
yeah, but what we normally
that makes
call, I would say if I was going into like a gas station, I'm like, "Where's your bathrooms?" And then Americans would be like, "You mean the restrooms?" Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. Cost of living okay or expensive compared to the Europe or US? Okay, whoa. No, it's super expensive here. So, yeah, if you go to the US, there's still places in the US where you can buy homes for like a really good price. That is non-existent anymore here in New Zealand, which is quite sad because a lot of the younger generation, they're coming out of university, school, and the housing costs are quite high. So is the food. So the food in New Zealand is more expensive. Like when we were in the Netherlands, and I don't know, anyone watching from the Netherlands, let us know. Maybe their food is subsidized by the government quite a bit more than it is in other countries. Like, for example, here, milk is no longer subsidized. The farmers aren't subsidized by the government. Whereas in other countries, like in Europe, some countries, they're highly subsidized. So the cost of one thing of milk might be like €1. So there's a big discrepancy between costs there, as well as you think of a bottle of wine. So a bottle of wine in Canada might be like 20 Canadian dollars. I think the tax on wine in Canada is about 50% tax. So it's quite different. In Europe, you can buy still a good bottle of wine for like €3. So there's big differences in cost. France, the house costs are quite a bit lower as well. But food is expensive here. So yeah, it's a little bit, I would say, more on the expensive side for sure.
It's one of the
So
top
don't-
10 expensive countries in the world.
So don't come here if you're,
Okay,
without a job.
greetings from Saudi Arabia. You should visit the country, especially the capital city, Riyadh. You'll see the big
Riyadh.
events coming in October 2021. I love you all. That is on our list.
Wow. So we may be coming to Saudi Arabia really soon.
Really
A lot
To
of
Riyadh
countries
as
have
well.
free colleges. What about New Zealand? In New
Free
Zealand?
colleges? Ooh, that's interesting. A lot of European cities
Yeah.
have free colleges.
So here how it works is your first year is always free. That way you can try and test and see if you like it. Because if you don't like it, then you can switch. You know what I mean?
I think it gives incentives for people to go get educated.
Yeah.
So the
Canada
first
and the
years-
United States, anyone watching from the US, I think this is one of the biggest differences that when you grow up over in the Americas, you just assume that you pay for all your education and stuff. But in many European countries, it's actually free, which is huge because it's not really fair for those who don't necessarily have the money because the kids can't get educated properly like they should.
Okay, any updates on the visa applications?
Okay, someone the other day said that we should get someone to sign a petition for us, like start a petition and get everyone's signatures. Well, we're getting really close to like considering that as an option because our visas.
For 1,000 signatures.
We need a bunch of signatures. I was thinking, like we were talking about that last night. We're like, maybe we can get a whole bunch of people just to write letters and like, say why we should be getting another extension. All we need is an extension. Let me explain what's going on. So we applied for something called an entrepreneurial work visa. This would mean we would move our business here and we would establish New Zealand as our kind of base, right? So long-term base. The trouble is, is this type of visa is not like your normal work visa. So if you're coming to New Zealand and you want to work for a company, you apply for your work visa within your company, and it's pretty fast compared to what we're trying to do. The average time for them to review, for Immigration New Zealand to review our visa, is 22 months. Okay? So this is really long, but just really fast. They gave us a 6-month interim visa. So that means we could be here for the extra time while they're processing it. Well, we keep calling, so we're calling them quite on a regular. And the update is basically it's still somewhere. It's not even like it's in somebody's hands. Nobody's been assigned to our application yet. So no one's even reviewed it yet. But it has moved offices. So they did tell us that much. So it went from like we mailed it in to now it's in the business sector. But it hasn't even been assigned.
Can I say something as well that someone said?
Yeah.
Someone asked if we've ever been to Buc-ee's in Texas.
Yes.
Yes, but can I just talk one more thing about the visa first? Because you all can maybe help us. Because if they write a letter, if anyone writes a letter and wants to like help us out, I'm seriously at that point. Because if our visa, let me just finish this, if our visa runs out, and the girls, I don't know if they fully understand this, we have to leave. And then everything we just did, so everything we just applied for, all the money we put into it, just goes away. And we can't reapply. With COVID times right now, you can't reapply from outside the country. So this is not good. Anyway.
Somebody said they wouldn't like to rest in a toilet because restrooms. And then somebody says restrooms at restaurants are public places. Home bathrooms here in CT.
Let's talk about the differences between gas stations. So a gas station in the United States, there's this one called Buc-ee's.
Yeah, it's like a Disney World experience because there's like hundreds of pumps, hundreds of toilets.
Buc-ee's is massive. You get there and it's just like, because it's in Texas mainly, right? Is there Buc-ee's in other countries? I mean, other states? He's licking himself and...
He's gonna fall off the table.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
He's good.
Someone said, have you ever been accused of breaking things when staying in home exchanges?
I had a dream about this.
What?
I woke up and Chloe was...
been accused of breaking stuff in home exchanges.
No, thank God. But Chloe and we once were worried about a water stain on a table, and I was so worried. I gotta tell you this story. It's hilarious. But I had a dream that, Chloe, you were like 5 years old, and you had put ink. The girls were fighting over one of these pens, fountain pen things that has ink inside, and it was all over their white carpet, and it was all over their wall. And in my dream, I was trying to get it out, and it was just like, that was just this morning.
He's
so
a magic
like,
clean guy.
I was so stressed out. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Blah blah blah. And anyway, but she was like a 5-year-old in my dreams. So thankfully our kids are older and no, they don't really mess things up. But but what happened in Whangarei Heads, we stayed at this one beautiful home. You're going to see in our videos. And there was like a water stain on the table, and we all blamed Tyler. We were all like, Tyler, you know, you made the water stain. Remember, girls, that water stain on the table? Yeah. And so we were like going on YouTube trying to find all the things, because usually if it's like fresh, you should be able to get it out. So we're like ironing it with stuff underneath, and we were trying to get this silly water stain out. We did everything we could possibly do. And we ended up meeting, a lot of times when you're doing home exchange, you meet the owners and stuff. So we met the owner, and she came back and she's like, oh no, that was my husband who did that. And we were like, oh, phew, you know.
So, bonjour de l'Australie.
Somebody says, have you ever been to Egypt? Not yet.
Not yet.
Somebody else said,
can we tell them another story about a home exchange? There was a shower bathroom incident with a shower door.
Oh, I still have the video on my phone, I think.
Can you explain what happened?
The one that
Malcolm.
So we were at someone's house. Wait, who broke the door though?
No, someone
fell off.
The shower door literally like fell
somebody
off.
opened the shower door and it just fell off.
And it was so heavy.
And then Julia and Mom decided, well, we got to put it back on. So they went in the shower to screw it back on and everything.
We got it all screwed on.
And they screwed it on the wrong way, so you could only open it went so they couldn't
so
get
we
out.
Couldn't get out of the shower.
So we had to unscrew everything and then put it back on the other way.
It was hard. Anyways,
we're not really good at house things.
Someone says
saves the planet. Oh, that's true.
He goes out of bed. I would live in the south of the North Island.
I would live in the south of the North Island.
The Highland.
Tourism, and you'll have and because you guys have an awesome job promoting New Zealand.
Well, you know what? I don't know who's saying that, but
scroll down. You're like really up high.
Okay, I'm gonna go through. Okay, I'll just only answer questions, and I'll try not to talk too much. I know I can ramble on. That is a good idea. There's also the Dubai World Expo going on right now. And I was like, man, if we have to leave the country, like maybe at least we can go work at their stand for the New Zealand stand. I know we're not Kiwis or anything like that, but we can totally represent and explain to anybody every single area. But yeah, it would be a shame. Like we have all these cool videos coming up, and it'd be a shame if we have to leave right away because, well, yeah, you'll see.
It's kind of glitchy again.
Is it? I apologize. There's nothing I do. This is one default. When you come to New Zealand, there's not always fast internet.
Somebody said, did we watch the rugby yesterday?
Nope.
Yeah. College. They call college high school here in New Zealand. It's not necessarily a university. Like, Marlboro.
Girls' college.
Girls' college, boys' college.
Okay, college in America is like post-secondary school.
Yeah. College here is high school.
Right. That's a big difference. Okay.
In French, do you call it gymnase? Is that college?
College is younger even. Is more grade school.
Somebody said contact the local MP.
Yep, we are definitely doing that.
What does that mean?
The local, like the MP here, for example, where we are is Stuart Smith. Yep, like the mayor, the local MPs. And then I was even considering contacting another one that we know. Anybody who can sign a letter of any kind of authority that could help, that would be awesome. But yeah.
Ziggy's in playful mode. Did
That's
you go
one
to
lazy
Egypt?
Did we go to Egypt?
I said no.
Yeah, not yet. We want to, and we will.
Ziggy.
Thanks too, Chris, by the way. That would be great. I mean, if the Ministry of Tourism can somehow endorse that we need to stay a little bit longer. We don't really have an excuse. Like, there's only a couple other areas we would like to see for them to be like, there's a reason. The other reason, this is a really huge, good reason, and it is the girls haven't even received their first dose of the vaccine, and you need to have 2 weeks before you leave to enter a country. So like, let's say we're coming into the Middle East, which we will probably be going to, like Abu Dhabi and Saudi and Kuwait and stuff like that, if depending on how things go. But a lot of these countries require your second dose of the vaccine, and it has to be valid 2 weeks after. So we don't even have enough time to do that, and we can't quarantine in these places. So this is a little bit getting complicated for us, and it's on our shoulders because we should have done it earlier, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's not cool. Maori, very cool. Ezekiel, el gato es en el bolso. Sí, that's funny. How many countries have you traveled to? I've been to countries, this is my 100th country, and the girls are trailing behind. So South Island, we're gonna go down to Queenstown again. We are literally going back to the same house.
The second home we stayed in New Zealand, the one we spent the first lockdown, honestly one of our favorite home experience.
Well, it was because you got to understand, 2019 and 2020 for us up till March were non-stop. We were going go. We went through so many countries. We went all through the Balkans and around the Mediterranean and all through the Middle East
and all throughout Central America and in America.
Like we did we got to New Zealand and we got into lockdown. It was the
best thing in the world.
7 weeks.
We loved it.
We were just like, we don't have to move. We don't have to pack. We don't have to plan our next day. Like we were just like, So, and then the house where we stayed had the most beautiful view of the mountains, and it was gorgeous.
Amazing carpet to work out on. It was cozy.
So you can imagine, we're going back to the same house. This is just amazing. So it's really cool. And we're going to go make when we left Queenstown last time, it was just getting out of lockdown, and we were leaving. So it was a shame because everything was still closed down. A lot of the attractions weren't even open. So we're going to be able to go back and experience those cool things that we're going to be able to show you. So
we're glitching again.
Yeah. I hope that whole thing wasn't like...
it says no data.
The stream will end unless you restart your site.
What?
It says your stream will end unless you restart your streaming software.
Oh no, what's going on?
Yeah, we're so slow here.
If they didn't hear anything, that would be so funny because they'd be like, Queen.
Message viewers.
Do any of you have a workout schedule? If so, do you go to the gym or mainly outdoors?
Is it really glitchy though?
Can I turn up the audio and see what it sounds like?
Yes, had the most beautiful view of the mountains.
So you can hear us, but we're just like...
Okay.
I don't know what to do to make it go faster.
So for working out,
4G.
we don't necessarily go to gyms. We do we watch videos online. Like we've been doing this like workouts and stuff online, and then we'll do like walks and hikes and all that. We have 4G.
Just send her on Insta. I'm sure she'll sort out your visas. Yes.
If only
And then
she
hope
could.
you guys get to stay walk barefoot here as long as you'd like.
Ooh.
Somebody also said, when was the last time you saw Pepe? 2 years ago?
Wait a second. Yeah,
Beginning January 2020.
Pepe was with us all the way up till the first week of January. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it stopped. Like, it was subs to travel, and so do we, of course. And so he loves discovering new places, and certain places that he wouldn't consider. We're like, oh, but you'll come if we go. And he's like, oh, I don't know, you know. Like, so we're get him. Our big joke is we're gonna get him to come to one of these African trips. You know, rough it out, because we do everything. We rough it out. We go high. We go in between. We do everything. Like
April Fools. You can't look at your boarding pass or anything. He jumps on the plane.
That'd be so much fun.
That'd be hilarious. Chris, I didn't know that there was a history with the France being like a country that ever attacked them. That's crazy. I'm going to look that up. What else? You got to say. So like it's very easy to approach people and to, message people and get through. It's not like the US where they're like protected with all their bodyguards and stuff like that. There's none of that here. So very approachable. I'm sure that she may even see that message amongst all the others that she does see, which would be really cool. Bucky's is in the southern states, Texas, Georgia, Alabama. Cool. We loved it there. I couldn't believe their bathrooms. If you've never been to like Texas, the saying, go big or go home. It is so true when you're there. Everything is so massive and so big. And there is nothing like that here. The way to describe New Zealand is kind of like going back into maybe like the 70s, 80s in America, where you go through these small towns, and even the way the cars park on the streets in some of the small towns and all the little businesses along the way, there's still a lot of like mom and pop shops, where in the United States, that's like pretty much non-existent, which is quite sad. In the US, Canada, it's all the box stores and the major chain stores that you see in every single place. Whereas in New Zealand, there's still a lot of little unique places that sell their unique things, and it's quite nice.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So here in New Zealand, we are spring. Yesterday, we sprung ahead an hour.
We sprung ahead.
Yes, so we have got flowers all blossoming, trees blossoming. Yes.
It's quite nice. It is spring.
It's getting warmer. Like, we can start wearing shorts when it's sunny out, and then at night, you still wear pants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're saying, oh yeah, make sure we visit the Pacific Islands, the South Pacific. We would love to. Everything's still not open, right? Nothing's really opened yet. And if our visas expire, we can only go potentially. Not even yet, because it's still all locked down. But once it does open, if we can't even get there, then we can't even get back here to leave again. So it's a little bit tricky. Yeah, we just need we need this approval then.
Somebody said, have you seen any Karens in New Zealand? There are plenty in America. Yeah, we have seen some Karens in New Zealand, sadly.
Yeah, you have? The one lady in the store? Okay, but you gotta understand, like, there are people everywhere in the world that maybe have, like, a little bit of, challenges, psychologically and stuff like that. So she did meet some lady, and it was very hilarious because she was, like, swearing at her and everything and telling her, like, mean things, and Angelique's just like, what?
All I did was drop, like, a shoe on the floor.
And the lady starts swearing at her, you, whatever, kids, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, what? It was really funny. I wasn't there, so. And she's so quiet and so, like, kind of shy. She was probably like, what? But yeah, it's not, though. The people here are super friendly. That's not normal. Yeah. So Angelique posted to join us on Discord. So explain to everyone, what is Discord and how it works?
So Discord is like a chatting browser. I think it's called a browser. A chatting browser where everyone has like servers, and then you can join people's servers, and on their servers you can talk in person, you can do like game nights, you can do movie nights, you could have fun and talk about travel stories.
It's just a way to continue the conversation after, like, in between lives and our conversations like that. Pepe's on. Hey, Pepe, I just want to say hello. He's here. He's saying to Derek, "Why do you ask of me?" That's so funny. Oh yeah, I think so. Wait, is that the right Pepe?
He's got a different
That's
background.
what I'm thinking. I'm like,
Wait, we can't see. Well, everything is
laughing out loud.
quite funny.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Okay, so let's quickly jump back into pros and cons. I just want to say, like, if we were to say quickly, like, 5 pros if you were coming to New Zealand, what would it be? I just looked outside
Wait, coming to New Zealand.
Wait.
to living in
It's
New
a
Zealand.
different Pepe. There's 2 Pepes on the
Wait,
line.
okay, so this is Pepe we know. Bonjour Pepe who just arrived.
Uno y dos. Dos Pepes.
Pepe just arrived.
We got Pepe 1 and Pepe 2.
Pepe G and Pepe.
We got 2
True
Pepes in the house. Okay, the Pepe
Well,
that...
how many Pepes do you know? Well, we know Pepe the Frog. We know.
No, we do know a Pepe in Spain too.
Yeah, we do.
Pepe the Frog, Pepe on this line, and then
No, but
That's so funny. It's not a common name. It's Pepe's nickname too, by the way. So, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so pros to living in New Zealand. You can grow fruit here, like
Yes.
all year round. So we have a lemon tree outside. So anytime you want a lemon, you can just grab your lemon. I think that's a huge pro because I've lived in many countries where you don't grow fruit and vegetables all year round. So it's pretty cool that you can do that. There's certain areas that grow really well.
Yes.
And you throw a seed and it just grows. That's kind of like their soil here.
Safety for sure.
Safety's huge.
I love New Zealand in general. It's English, the food, the community.
I like the small townness and
Yeah.
the way the people are. You can have like the best of best countries, but if the people that are living there are, not as welcoming and as friendly, it could just not be as good of an experience. And so I think this is what makes a country, is the people. So I would say the people of New Zealand are by far some of the friendliest, down to earth, easygoing, normal, just natural, authentic, and real. And they're always there to help. Everyone's willing to help you out. Like, no one's out to get you. It's just different. And you don't experience that in many other countries anymore around the world. So I'd say that's huge.
You need to
somebody said hello from Canada, and then everyone's
Hi.
talking.
Hey,
you
Sarah.
need to make sure you book a house with fiber. Yeah, often houses in New Zealand don't have fiber internet. Some do, but some don't.
I would say that's a huge downfall, is the internet, for sure, because especially with, it's kind of like a necessity. And so it's so frustrating. Like, for example, we have fiber here, but it's still not 100%.
Yeah.
It's not like what it should be.
And like here we're using data, for example. So
Yeah.
another thing I was just gonna say, something Texas, when we went there, was a place like, oh, I could see myself living here.
Yeah.
Texas was a nice place, like, because we used to live in Florida, which was very touristic-y, if you will. And in Texas, they seem, I don't know, in my opinion, they seem nicely more fit and more active, maybe. I don't know. Like, again, Florida's touristic, but I like Texas.
The boys are really nice in Texas for
Very
our girls.
sweet and gentleman
Like, the boys, like, open the doors, and, like, they're very, like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. That's how they say it. And then, yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
And then I was just going to say to Sarah, who's from Canada, I'm not sure where in Canada you are, but if you go to the east coast of Canada, apparently it would be very, very similar, like the way people are, to New Zealand, just to compare the two. It's kind of like that.
Pepe G, Pepe. Hey, double trouble.
Hey, double
And
trouble.
then people are saying those Pepes.
We're all talking about Pepe now.
Yes.
Cool.
Boss is back. Gotta go back to work.
See ya, John.
Bye.
Yeah, take care. Don't get in trouble for being on a live while you're working. Hopefully his job's not too intense that he has to be, like, paying attention. Tiny communities of people in each little area. So, like, I have this, like, love-hate relationship with that country where I just absolutely love it, but then I really don't like it on other parts. So,
When we went to live in Switzerland and then we went back to Florida, it did feel like a second home. Like, oh, like this used to be our home and we knew all our friends. So Switzerland's going to be that weird experience where this feels like our home, but then that's going to be like a second or third home to us. And then even Spain's like that. It's like, oh, this used to be our home. So we have all these, like,
I guess
homes
wherever
that- Yeah.
like wherever you go for a length of time.
And often, like for example, in Florida, we don't go back and then it's like a few years until we go back again. So this is what Switzerland is becoming. It's like a second home.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, just
So it's
everything's
gonna be
so
that weird
familiar. It's
experience.
funny when, like, even, for example, going back down to Queenstown, I was just saying to the girls this morning, like, we know exactly where to go. We know everything that's
It's
going
going to
on.
be that weird, this feels like home again because we know it. Exactly.
I guess because we move around so much, home is like, we make home fast.
Yeah.
We make community fast. We're, people that, I don't know. But yeah, lots of places. Lots of North Islanders have never been down to the South Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says there's no data.
Where does it say
Uh-oh.
that?
It says
We've got
no
4G.
data. Oh boy.
This video keeps loading.
This video is bad. We're back. That is so strange. It keeps giving us messages that we are on no data. Meanwhile, this is like 4G data from the phone that we're streaming with, so it should be fine. Anyway, yeah, there's people who haven't been south or north and vice versa, and some people haven't even really moved from one city to the other. Let's talk about vacation time. Like, do they get... If you're from New Zealand and you're watching this, do we get... Like, do the people here get more than a 2-week holiday? Like, I know in the United States, most people can only book a 1-week holiday anywhere that they're going. Like, so if they're coming to Europe, or even if they were coming to New Zealand, a week is definitely not enough, but that's oftentimes all they can do with their work schedules. So I don't know how many weeks people get here, but I know the school holidays are quite long. So I don't know. Some of them don't really move around too much. I guess that happens everywhere, right? I know, like, okay, considering Switzerland, if you talk about Switzerland, the French and the German part, there's like this invisible line, and they say people don't cross it. But we've met people that worked, believe it or not, in the tourism sector, okay? So they were coming from the Swiss-German part. We were in the French-speaking part, and Tyler got talking to this lady, and she works for the tourism board of Switzerland, and she had never been to that one area called Montreux, which is beautiful, and it's just like, if you've been to Switzerland, you haven't been there, you haven't been to Switzerland, in my opinion. And we were like, she was 40-some years old, and I was like, how's this possible? Like, Switzerland's like a 3-hour drive, like, to get, anywhere. It was just, like, mind-boggling. So I guess it's anywhere, right? That happens.
Okay, so Chasing Adeline and them are on. Hey, guys.
Hey, welcome to New
Everyone's
Zealand.
saying 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks.
4 weeks annual paid. So yeah, so in 4 weeks, you can certainly travel your country. I bet you with New Zealand being locked down from the rest of the world, or locked in, or however you call that, I bet you a lot of people have moved around quite a bit more than the others, but yeah. Ooh, Chloe's being our... That's good. We'll move over. Cool.
Okay.
We lost 2 girls out of the live. Okay. Chloe's got stuff to do. She's... Come say goodbye, at least.
Walter's World's on. Hey, guys. They said 1 week with 2 weekends. Tons of time in the U.S.
In the U.S. To, like, travel to the U.S.? That's not very long.
No, well, that's what they get as holidays. 1 week.
Wow. What? Wait. Are you for real?
1 week with 2 weekends. That's all.
Yeah, the U.S. is like... We were talking about that the other day. I think we were driving somewhere, and the girls are like, what? They don't get, like, 4 weeks holiday? Because in Europe, it's standard that everyone gets a 4-week holiday. Like, in most places in August in Europe... Well, at least where the parts that we are in are all closed down. Like, businesses just shut down for the whole month. It's like August, everyone's on holiday, and it's just the way it is. So it's really different. Like, in the United States, you almost get shunned on if you're taking, like, a 4-week holiday. Remember when we did our first 5-week holiday, and I was telling some of the teachers and the kids at the schools, like, oh yeah, we're going to take their kids out of school and we're going to go to Europe for 5 weeks. Everyone was like, oh, like, what? And I was like, it's not that long to go to Europe.
And then it turned into 3 months, but luckily it was the school holidays, I feel like, after.
Yeah, it was the school holidays.
So that was good. Have you guys been welcomed onto a mare, or tried a hangi, or had a hungy with someone?
We haven't done a full one. We have to still do that, you guys.
Well, yeah, we did try. At Tapua, they made like a cake underneath the ground. That was really special.
Yeah, but we haven't like done it ourselves. It's not. And you know which beach we you know, the hot water beach where in New Zealand, because it's volcanic, there's a beach that you can literally dig a hole in the sand and it like bubbles hot water like a hot tub. So we went there, but it was like quite cold and windy that day, and I feel like overcast a little bit, and so we didn't like actually experience it. But you can go there and like you can cook your food underneath the ground. Like, it's that hot underneath the ground that you can cook a meal. Like, isn't that crazy? So we have yet to experience that.
Okay.
Is it streaming this bad? When I'm watching it on the phone, it's like we are so fuzzy.
Yeah.
Are we really fuzzy, you guys? Is this that bad? I hope not. Sheesh.
Julia is so much like
good.
her mom.
Oh, yeah. She's my mini-me. That's funny. We have to go to a marae though, and like so we've done like some of the museums, and we did Waitangi, for example, the treaty. We've been there. You're gonna move it for us. Ooh, oh, thank you. Now we can move over this way. We're totally centered. We good? All right. They're centering us. We gotta have everything like perfect, you know. We try. So this is so cool. What else? Christmas to New Year holiday are normally longer than 2 weeks. Yeah, that's cool. That's
I
really
get
cool.
6 weeks, but have been working for the same company for 15 years. That's nice.
Wow. That's amazing. That gives you plenty of time. So like anyone, you know, trying to leave New Zealand and travel around, you know, everything's far. That's like a big downfall. Is like anything is like,
Oh my gosh. What is Ziggy doing?
he's up on the counter.
He tried to jump up on the coffee machine.
Oh, he's okay. Ziggy's like he's starting to be like too much, thinking he's part of the family, like jumping up on counters, meowing for like treats, you know. He's really cute though. Both the internet services in each machine, I can tell which one is going to use.
That's
Not
the
sure.
1 week vacation people talk about.
Just reading through your comments, you guys. Donovan's saying he would love to visit New Zealand. I think like once everyone starts seeing our videos, because we really showcase so many of the attractions in the areas and all the beauty of it, everyone's going to fall in love with New Zealand. It's one of these countries that it's hard not to, because it has so many really cool things to see and do while you're here. And if you're considering coming to New Zealand, definitely give yourselves 4 weeks. Like, we were only going to do 4 weeks when we initially came. And in those 4 weeks, we would have been able to really just, like, skim through the surface of it. We would have been able to still see a lot. Like, you can still see, you know, Queenstown, Rotorua. We were going to hit, like, the main kind of tourist attraction things to see and do. And then we were going to fly out. I'm so glad we've gotten to see everything else.
Goodness,
So,
yeah. Like, we just recently went to a place we've never been to yet, Hammer Springs, which was really cool. Everyone says to go, and it's really nice.
it was so beautiful. It's so cool to have Mark here. Mark has traveled from Walter's World, like, all around the world, and he's kind of like the Rick Steves kind of version. Well, you're Walter's World. You can't compare you to anybody else. But it's cool. Him and Jocelyn have connected, and I have yet to meet you guys in person. I'm so excited for the day that we're all going to do like a Swiss trip or something like that. It's going to be really nice. So can't wait. I'm still going through the comments about holidays. Yeah. 10 days sick leave. Yeah, take advantage of those if you've got those. Anything you can, right? How many in your family got vaccinated? And if yes, which vaccine? So Tyler and I have had our first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. That's the only one they're issuing here in New Zealand. And get this, in New Zealand, everyone has access to the vaccine. Whether you're a resident, a tourist like we are, anyone can go in and even overstayers, so the people who are unlawfully here, you know, that you would have, let's say, they can just go, they don't ask questions, everyone can get vaccinated. So I think in Auckland, they're at 90% have had already their first dose, which is so high, because in other countries, like where we're keeping up with the news and everything like that, and there's a lot of places like in Switzerland, they're only at 50%, so there's a lot of hesitancy. And I think this comes down to the leader of this country has done, like, she's just phenomenal. She's done an amazing job at explaining everything. They're very transparent and authentic when they're on the news. They just speak as if they're normal people, which they should. But I know, like, when I look at our Prime Minister in Canada, when he speaks, he sounds like robotic and bizarre. And when Jacinda talks, she's just normal. And so there's like this transparency, and they talk every day about how many cases they have, and they're very thorough. So everyone's in the know, and everyone's more or less on board. And, you know, it's just totally different. So, yeah, they only have Pfizer. The girls have yet to do theirs, and we got to get on it because we're running out of time here. So,
the girls starting now for cultural kids. Yeah.
Say again? Oh, you're now third culture kids. Nate, that's a good point. There's like this thing called like first culture, second culture, third culture kids. I don't know fully much about it, but when your child has lived in a different country, they call them like a third culture, you know. So they were definitely like that. Like, it's hard to, you feel home here, like she was saying, you feel at home in Switzerland, you feel like you're home in New Zealand, you feel like you're home in Spain, you feel like you're home in Florida, like anywhere we've spent like a lot of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So in in Estepona, Spain, where we were for quite some time. They're having an event coming up in March, and I really want to get to it and be there. And it feels like we're getting so excited. We're like, oh, it feels like we're going to go back home.
We have friends that we haven't seen in
years.
And they're very dear friends.
We started our YouTube channel when we were in Spain in 2017, and yeah, it would be really nice to go back. It was so cool. This is true. Chasing Adelaide. Just reading.
Walter's World say, yeah, most jobs give 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, really? That's good.
But if you leave for more than 2 weeks away, and then there's the schools, and then,
you can only miss so many days. It becomes tricky. Because like when you're traveling, I know a lot of people go to Europe for a week, which is doable from the US. But if you're trying to go further away, with the time zones and everything like that, it becomes tricky, right? It's always good to give yourself more time. And then you're more relaxed as well.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's a bit fuzzy, but it's not too bad.
Okay, good. Good to know. We're like working on the technology side, like Mark, you're watching. Like if you've got some tips for us, let us know. We've got the Canons, hooked up. It's streaming through OBS software, and we're like all like high tech here. We got the light on. We're doing our best, but then there's the internet, which we can't help. So anyway, it is what it is. Got a good mic. Got our setup going much better than we used to be. We're so amateur. When we first started our channel, we look back at our videos and we're like appalled by how bad they are, like shaky, and like the audio's off, and like we're still working on our past videos. We're like, oh, this is off, but we're getting there. We're starting to get better. So now it's clear. All right, what else? Holiday of 4 weeks. Yoo-hoo, we're still talking about holidays. Here comes Ziggy again. Ziggy, you coming back into the thing? Come on, Ziggy. Come on. Here you go. This is Ziggy the cat. If you're just joining on the live, this is our adopted cat from the neighbor, and he's absolutely beautiful, and he's gone already, but that's Ziggy. Good morning, ladies. You're still here. We're still here. Hey, good morning if you're just joining. We're kind of like getting mostly through our video here.
And Texas,
we're talking about like the pros and cons in different countries and just having fun.
How do you find the open carry policies?
What's that? I don't know what that is. Regarding Texas, open carry policies. I have no idea what that is. Enlighten us. Tell us what it is.
Oh wow, some of these questions are from actually a long time ago. Like, remember what? Except I don't wear khakis like Rick, Steve.
Yeah, that's funny. We don't really follow him too much, but I'm just like, saying like he's kind of like the ancestor, the grandfather of like, travel videos and stuff like that. So yeah. You can also apply for leave without pay if you want a longer travel. Yeah, so that's good. I remember because like I did studies in Europe with my dad being Swiss. I went to Switzerland when I was like 16 and a half till I was 20 years old. And over in Switzerland, you go to school till you're about 16, and then you have divisions of what you can do. So you can do like a professional school, you can go through high school and then do your university, or you can do an apprenticeship. And so I did a 3-year course like my brother who was there as well. So I lived with my brother for a year, and then I was on my own for 2.5 years. And so I had this like mindset of like you get 4 weeks paid and then sometimes more. So I would get 6 weeks holidays per year. And so I'd have enough time to go back for Christmas for 2 weeks and 4 weeks each summer. So in my mind, this was all so normal. And I wasn't into the workforce in the Americas, so I didn't really know really as much as their system. And I got back to Canada. First of all, I went back in the worst horrific year and time of the year possible. Not year, but time of the year. It was end of January. It was minus 20 Celsius, you guys. Like, this is like horrible. You would park your car outside, and every day you had to like scrape it off. And I had been out of that kind of cold for 3.5 years, so it was just like horrifying. And then you have to walk, and when you're in your 20s, you want to wear your pretty little shoes. So you're walking with your pretty little shoes through snow. Your feet are wet. It's freezing. You're scraping snow, and it was just like I was like crying every day. I hated it so bad. And I'm getting there with my story. So I started working at a job. And it was like my first job, and I was like maybe this cocky young 20-year-old. And the first thing I said on the first day I get there is like, right, I'm planning to go to Europe in May for a month, and I just want to let you know, like, I want the month off. And the owner of the place is like, No, like this is the time of the year where we're starting to get busy is May, and you can't take a month off in May. And my answer to her was like, well, you don't have to keep me on. Like you can, I can just leave, in May. I'm leaving. Like I'm gone. There's like no question. So she was dumbfounded by that. She was like, okay, well, I guess you could take a month off, because she didn't want me to leave. So then everybody at work was like, how did you just manage that? Like, how did that happen? It was hilarious. And then I was like, and I want one weekend off every month. Like, no Saturday working, like, anyway, it was just really funny because, like, it was just so, you didn't know that story? Yeah, because I was just like, well, why can't I take 4 weeks off? Like, what's the big deal, Anyway, so I went back to Europe, and I was so happy to get back to Europe then. And then I went a few more times after that. But yeah, quite funny. Oh, you're about to get your 3rd dose of the vaccine. People are doing boosters now, right? Mm. I know that in Europe, okay, get this. If you go to certain countries, like our friend went to Switzerland, Pepe went to Switzerland, and there's a new app that you have to scan everywhere. And you can't go into a restaurant. You can't go into anything public area without scanning in that you've been vaccinated. Well, if you can imagine, they're not accepting, there's Ziggy hair all over, they're not accepting the US vaccines, and I think it's like they will, but I think it's the systems are not in place yet, or the technology is not in place to recognize everything. So he literally had to do a test every 3 days to prove that he had no COVID, even though he was fully vaccinated. Like, that's really crazy, right? So I don't understand everything going on, and I don't understand why their systems aren't up to date, but I sure do hope that our vaccines are going to be accepted. The Pfizer vaccine here, I hope that they're going to be okay with it, because I don't want to then have to go get another shot because of that. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, so bizarre.
Hammer Springs hot pools when there's like snow on the ground. Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, and they're saying in California that you can do the same thing. Anyone could go get vaccinated in California. That's cool. So it's just open to everybody. I know, like, we have people that we know in the Philippines. They had to drive like 3 hours and then wait in lineups, and then they run out, and then they have to go all the way back home. And it's just like not as easy as everyone else has it. So greetings from Poland. Hey, Tomek. Nice to see you. Thank you for saying hello. We love going to Poland. We love the food. It's really cool. Fun. You're an amazing mom. Aw, thank you. What do I call myself? Like the girls sometimes are like, I call myself the cool mom.
Yeah.
Am I not cool? Somebody said I was a cool mom. I am a cool mom. I have so much fun with the girls. Like yesterday we were playing a travel game actually, where we travel around the world in 80 days. What's it called?
Travel trivia.
And
basically, you have to get around the world in 80 days, and you have these questions, and you go by continent. So Asia and Africa are first, and they are so hard because you have countries like, what's the money of this, or what's the capital of this, or what's the name of this, or things like that.
It's all trivial. And then when we get to Europe, it's easy. When we get to
Oceania
Pacific,
is so
easy.
It's like, what's the Maori word for this, or what do you call? Where's the beehive located? Or where's Auckland located? Is it the north
or the south
island?
It's like all these questions that the girls are like, this is so easy. It's so funny. 3rd must be a booster. Yeah.
See, Spain is a nice looking country. Yes, very so.
Spain is a beautiful country. We love it. Spain is like, it's just so much fun. The people are really nice there and friendly and bubbly. And I love the culture, because you go and, like, if you're a tourist there, you may be going to go have like dinner, and you think it's okay to go out for dinner at 6. Well, no, everything's closed down still, and you don't start your dinner till like 9, 10 at night. So it's a different flow of lifestyle. It's quite fun and lively, and it's really cool.
I'm not sure. I think you guys have been to countries where you have full head coverings for women. You are a must. So
I feel a little bit bad.
We've been to countries where we probably should have been more
covered up. Mm-hmm.
And definitely in the mosque you definitely cover up, but so far it's not like been mandatory. Like Saudi Arabia will be.
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Yemen probably.
Like I feel like in Bahrain we should have been more covered up, because it's less like what's normal for us.
Yeah.
It'd be like walking around naked for them, and I get that. So we have to just cover up more when we go there.
You're on a cruise ship and everyone else is doing the same, but then you're like, well, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
So we will cover more up in certain countries because, when we were getting off the cruise and it's so hot and it's not like we had like full covering outfits and stuff.
No, but now like I got some like I got a dress which is
she just bought a dress that's like covered and then
well,
you can
it's
wear
more long that way I can wear it for there.
Yeah.
We're
We're getting prepared for it.
Yes.
So funny. LOL is so true. My video, Chasing Adeline says that. When I'm sure every person who makes videos on YouTube looks back and is like, "Oh, this is really bad," and then laughs about it, right?
Open carrying, isn't it about carrying a gun? So in Texas, yes, you would see like, "Oh, don't bring your guns in stores."
Oh, yeah.
You are allowed to carry guns.
We went to like, where did we go? We were going up.
Museum, no?
Yeah, we were going somewhere, in Houston or something, and the lady is like, "Are you guys carrying like?" Or no, are you concealing weapons? And we were like, huh? What? And like, they ask you when you go through like a normal museum if you're concealing, meaning like you're hiding your weapons. But she's like, because you're allowed to carry, but you can't conceal them. And I'm like, whoa, that is so weird. Yeah, it's just so normal in Texas for people to have guns and carry them around. Can you imagine? That's so bizarre. I know it's so normal for those watching from like Texas and stuff. Like everyone just like has a gun. They call it packing heat, I think, or maybe that's an old saying from when I was a kid. But they'd be like, "Are you packing heat? Like, are you carrying a gun?"
Yeah. So New Zealand, you don't really carry guns unless you're a hunter or farmer.
Yeah, like Canada's the same. You have to have a gun license or a license, and in Canada it has to be locked up. Here's the thing that people misunderstand with Switzerland. A lot of times we get comments about Switzerland and people having a gun. So it's mandatory military service over there. So everybody learns how to properly load and have a gun. But you have your gun. So every army guy, which is every man and that's 18 and over, goes home with their gun. But I think the bullets are held somewhere else. It's not like somebody could just go out and and it's not like these like crazy guns. Like in South Africa, we drove through these places and they had like gun stores like you would see maybe in the US with like massive machine guns and like crazy stuff. That's non-existent over there. So just to clarify that, because they say, oh, it's one of the safest countries, but everyone carries a gun. But yeah, it's just different. Yeah. Russell, you scared of the needles? Oh, you're talking back and forth. Russell's like, I've been putting off. Nobody wants to get a vaccine. Nobody wants to get a vaccine that hasn't been tested for years. Like, I don't like fully agree with the whole thing. But you have to kind of to have normalcy back in the world and to get everybody somewhat protected, right? It's kind of crazy. It's crazy what's going on out there. I can't believe it. I'm just like, I can't believe the world's not normal yet when we're watching and seeing all the things and the PCR tests and all this stuff. And it's just like, can't we please go back to normal? Please. Can we please just go back to normal?
See, now they're talking about your story. That's an incredible story.
Which story?
The vacation one, no?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. When we talk, there's like a delay, and then we read comments, then we go back, and
the
it's also confusing.
Like
Pepe's enlightening us. Europe only accepts QR codes for vaccines, which US don't offer. So so you've got Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and all these different things, and so certain vaccines are recognized and certain ones aren't. It's crazy.
How many languages do we speak? Chasing Adeline's asking. So we speak French, English, and we can get by on Spanish, and I'm learning Russian.
Whoa, that is so cool. The day we go to back to Russian, Julie's like, blah, 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 blah.
It's funny because
whoa.
I know words, but it's not like I can speak fluent phrases yet. I mean, certain ones, yes, but not really.
Yeah. Chris is saying he has no problem with guns, but certain people shouldn't be allowed to have them. I agree. People who are a little bit off or whatever, or crazy. Totally agree. Bergenstock Resort has medical staff on site, $100 per test. Whoa, you see what I'm saying? So imagine this happens to our family of 5. 500 Swiss francs is it's
expensive.
That's expensive. That's really expensive to just get a test. And then if you have to do it every 3 days, and it's just like, holy. And that's what I was looking at with Tyler. I'm like, how's this going to be possible? We're going to leave. First of all, the girls, like I was saying, have to have their second jab. Then we have to be able to wait 2 weeks and then without having to quarantine in a hotel. And then you have to have your PCR test. and then you have to have another one, and then to leave and go into another country, you have to have another one. I'm like, this adds a whole new dynamics when it comes to travel and a whole other complication budget-wise and everything else. So I'm like, is there not like some island that we can go to for 3 months with fast internet, warm weather, and just stay for like 3 months?
That's New Zealand, an island. It's gonna be warm.
Yes, but we can't stay. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. We don't know where we're gonna go. All right. I have a question. Ew! Oh, you already answered. Sorry. This is how behind I am.
Is Chloe playing that piano? See, that's from before.
Yeah. Chloe's playing. She loves to play. We got a copy strike. Can you believe it? On our video, because Chloe was not a copy strike, but a copy, whatever you call it. It's like a copy strike. Because she was playing the piano and singing a song, and apparently she sounded that much like them that they gave her a strike, or gave us a strike. How rude. I just hope that it was the birthday one too, where Angelique was getting donations. I don't think it affects the donations that people were giving her gifts for her birthday. So I don't think it affects that, but I would be really sad if it does. We'll see what happens in a few more days. What else? Just reading through your comments. Portugal is much better than Spain. Heaps of sleazy guys. Ooh. Maybe. Depends on who you meet, John. John's saying like Portugal's maybe better with like the sleazy guys. I don't know. Like I think because we speak the language and we speak Spanish, it just makes it so much easier to get by with the language. So that's why we maybe prefer it. But a lot of people ask me that question. They'll be like, well, why, if you're living in Europe, why not go to Portugal? Because it is the least expensive if you're going into like that area. It's even less expensive than Spain when you're considering renting something, and you get the sunsets because you're all along the Atlantic. So you got beautiful sunsets over there. But yeah, I mean, you'd have to learn Portuguese maybe, I guess. What else? We're back to the trivia game. He can answer a lot of questions from New Zealand. Yes, absolutely. Ashburton Lakes when you're traveling next. Not a tourist spot, but stunning. Really? I don't know that place. I've never been there, and I guess it would be beautiful. I'm going to look it up after we get off the call. Oh, yeah. In Portugal, people want to try speaking English with you more than the Spanish. I would say the same thing for Greece. When we were in Greece, everyone spoke English with us. They were like out of their way trying to speak, and they were happy to learn and practice. Whereas in Spain and Italy and France, there's a little bit more hesitancy when it comes to speaking English, especially if you don't give it a try first. If you try and they say you're having a hard time, but in Spain, what's hilarious is because we get enough, we know enough to get by, they just think we're fluent, and then they go on so fast, especially in Andalusia where they like cut their words off. So it's like it's really hard to speak over there and really hard to understand what they're saying. But in Portugal, they do try to speak English, and I bet you, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I bet you it's because they learn in their schools at a younger age than in Spain and France. So I think that's why. Whoa, someone just sent us $20. Wait, what? Chris, thank you so much. And we won't be demonetized. I don't think it affects this. For Chloe, since she missed... Oh, it was Angelique, the birthday stream. Thank you. Oh, she's going to be so happy. I'm going to tell her that. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. She was so excited, and unfortunately, she spent her birthday in lockdown, and so she didn't get to do the party we were hoping to do. And because we had to switch plans, we were going to go to the North Island, and we were going to organize a bit of a birthday party there as well and do a murder mystery game. She wasn't able to do it, so we're still waiting on, postponing that. So we're still planning on doing that, which is going to be really cool. All right, Donovan, I think he's saying, hope you have a good evening. Good evening to you over there. Howdy. I don't know if you say howdy, say bye, or just hello, but howdy. Don't forget to add the Lost Spring to your list before leaving New Zealand. Whoa, the Lost Spring. I don't know where that is. Where is it? Well, maybe we haven't seen something in New Zealand. We also haven't been to what's called the East Cape, which is if you drive up from Gisborne up and around, it's apparently a just stunning, beautiful drive, and we were going to go drive around there as well, but we might have run out of time to be able to do that, so we shall see. Yep. Dennis is saying that COVID-19 is basically like the flu, and eventually we'll just kind of have to live with it. That's how I feel. I'm like, can't we just, I think we're just going to have to get used to it being around, and it's just going to be having to be treated like a flu because it is a flu, and like more serious flu. So maybe we'll just have to live with it. I hope so. I hope it can eventually just like kind of die down and we can all just get on with everything, but we'll see. First steps to full control 6 months ago were non-existent. Yeah. Oof. I'm watching like news from Australia. It's pretty crazy. Everyone's kind of revolting over there. Not everyone, but a lot of people are like totally upset with it all. Same within Alberta, Canada. It's just crazy what's happening around the world. So anyway. Okay, so tell us where the Lost Spring is here in New Zealand. Have you heard of the Lost Spring? I've never heard of it.
It's in Waitangi.
Waitangi? Going down. Ooh. No, Whitianga.
Well, whatever. Yeah,
Whitianga. Ooh, okay, yeah. That's cool. That's a cool area to go check out. We haven't spent much time there, so we'll have to maybe spend a lot of time. Some of these places we've just drove through, so we didn't really get a chance to fully experience it or stay for a week. Like, we've stayed in so many places for about a week or even more, so we really got to know the area. But that's one area we don't know yet, so thank you. If we have enough time, we will do that. So we still had yet to go see Waitangi. No. What am I saying? Wahiki Island. So we had booked a place in.
No, we've been.
Yeah, but we didn't like fully see everything. We were just there for a day.
But still, if we had to leave and we didn't see it fully, I mean, we still been. But yeah.
I know, but I want to do like a whole drive around the island because it's quite unique. And so Auckland, of course, if you don't know, is in lockdown, so there's no way to get through there unless you live there. And like I said, we're running out of time, so unless we get an extension, which isn't looking very good, we won't be able to go. But we'll see. You never say never, right? Like maybe one of you guys who wrote to Jacinda, maybe she'll get it, and she doesn't have anything to do with it, really. It's not her. Like she can't just be like, oh, give these guys an extension. It doesn't work like that. You have to go through the whole process and everything. But if only it did work like that. Anyway.
Have you been to the Kari Forest?
Yes, we saw the kauri trees. Is that what it's called? Kauri trees, am I saying it right? The oldest trees. They're like, how many thousands a year old? 3,000? 2,000?
Very old.
And they're huge.
Yes.
The kauri trees are just beautiful. We were there and it was really nice. We did a whole drive. So we were in the North Island on the west coast, and we did a whole drive, and we went to see the the name of the water there, Kiwi, means food. Kai Iwi.
Oh, yeah.
The water there was like so blue.
It was like Bacalar in Mexico. It was like crystal clear, like.
It was like a lake that looked like Caribbean. What did I say? A lake that looks like Caribbean blue waters.
Or Pacific, yeah. It was so cool.
And where Julia's explaining, Bacalar in Mexico was like this, and so
it was the same thing. It was a lake that was beautiful.
Yeah, and we did this beautiful drive, and there's the sand dunes up north. It's really neat because New Zealand has all these different areas that are all very different in a very short amount of time. So like if you look at the US, you have to travel maybe quite a bit of land mass to get that difference and the diversity that you have. But here in New Zealand, you get diversity in a very short amount of time. Everything changes. Even from where we are, we're 20 minutes away is very different. When you look at the way here it's very dry and whatnot, and you drive 20 minutes and all of a sudden it's luscious and green, which is crazy, right? Like very short distance and you get that kind of difference. So it's pretty cool. When you go to China, could I come with you? Oh.
Come to Pakistan, visit Barefoot County.
You want to come with us to China because he speaks the language? Well, sure. Come along. You could be our tour guide, or at least our translator. Come to Pakistan.
Yeah, come to Iraq and the Mosul.
Oh, be careful in Pakistan. We'll be careful. Like when we go to these places, we do have connections and people that we know in some of these places. So, and we're always careful everywhere we go. So.
Yeah. In Wellington, I shall march to her office now to your extension. I'll take Tara with me for back.
You're funny. March to. Let's start a protest here. keep the Growing Up Without Borders in New Zealand. We're a big asset. We're going to put New Zealand on the map, and we're going to be like totally promoting tourism. Once these borders open up, I tell you, with our videos, everyone's going to want to come here. So yes, we're going to do a huge benefit to you guys and showcase your beautiful country. So all right, so in wrapping up, you guys, we're just going to wrap up here shortly. We just want to say a huge special thank you, and it's saying our streaming is not running smooth again. I apologize for that, but it was so
we
nice.
were frozen for a while, I think, just there.
Oh yeah? Oh well. As long as you can hear our voices. It's kind of like the girls when they do their Zoom calls with school. Do you know that some of the students on the Zoom call actually put a photo of their head? And so it just looks like they're like this. And then then they'll turn it off, and then the head changes, and they're like, that was a photo. That wasn't even really that. It's so funny. Pranking teachers is a whole different thing when you do online school.
It is.
What do you guys do to prank teachers?
Okay, so first of all, on Zoom you can change your eyebrows or your lip colors or all that. So all of a sudden, we'll all come up with things like that. Or sometimes, we can message each other. So we're like, okay, everyone put your name as this, or things like that.
They'll chat to each other separately, the kids, and then
as
they'll as they're in class, and they'll be like, all right, let's all pretend we're
message.
Yeah.
And then sometimes as well, for example, well, we haven't done this yet. We want to do something where, can I eat a fruit in class? And then you bring up a watermelon. Because we saw it on a Reels. It was really funny.
It's hilarious. But anyhow, yeah, guys, it was really nice connecting with you. I know we didn't go over too much of the pros and cons of being in New Zealand, but hopefully we've given you a little bit of insight if that's something that you're looking to do. Guns N' Roses are playing in Auckland in March. Woo! How cool is that? Nice. Thanks, Mohammed. Nice to have you guys all the way from Iraq. Wow, that's so cool. It's so neat when the whole world can connect on chat. So yeah, if you want to continue the conversation, go over to Discord, go join our server, and continue the chat over there. And we'll be sure to catch you guys probably next week. We'll be in... no. We'll be in Queenstown next week. We'll be driving down to Queenstown. So we will do our next live, well, possibly on the Monday, which is Sunday Americas. We'll see, but that's the plan anyway. So it was really nice to see you all. It was really nice to have you guys join our live. Thanks for coming in. If you have more questions, comments, send us a message on Instagram or wherever you have, and we'll answer it in the next one. And see you next time. Adios.
Bye.
Ciao. Tschüss. How do you say it in Maori? Bye. Any other way? Arrivederci.
Ciao.
Bye.